Welcome to Fusion Fiction with your host Madhulika Ra Chauhan, where every tale brings you closer to the heart of life itself. Today's story is The Green Bottle. The Green Bottle. Every evening at dusk, folded into the narrow lanes of Bhavanipur, Summer Roy took the same path home from his work at the municipal records office. He walked with a quiet rhythm past shuttered bookstores, rusted iron railings, and cracked pavements until he reached the corner near the old abandoned printing press. For 5 years, Summer had taken the same road home. He had seen the colors of the street change with season, but not the vendors. He would walk through the route twice during the day, yet no one could claim they had seen Summer Roy talk or nod at anyone. He would occasionally stop at the tea stall across the old press to have tea. There too, he would take the corner wobbly wooden bench and quietly browse through the bustle of the street. An old lady carrying a wicker basket full of marigold flowers, a man haggling with a fish vendor, the scene always looked the same to Summer. "Get married, Roy Babu," Mr. Chatterjee, the senior clerk at the records office, would smirk, placing a well-folded betel leaf under his molars. Summer would not even bother to respond to Mr. Chatterjee, keeping himself bent over the accounting records, which tend to pile up. He found numbers far more interesting than people. If he could, he would avoid them like the walk he would have to take to come to office. If he could have his way, he would have asked the Bade Babu, the office in charge, to empty the records room on the top of the building to make space for him. That would have made him happiest. But, like everything else, Summer too could not have what he had wished for. Life had other plans for him. On one dusty summer evening in July 1984, while walking back to his sparsely decorated one-room apartment, Summer stopped to have tea. He had been hurting, as he was unable to tally the numbers for the last 1 hour. Summer stared blankly at the wall from across the tea stall. It was there that he first noticed it. Right across the bustle of the passers-by and haggling vendors stood a solitary green bottle. Deep green, the kinds you would find in liquor stores, small, flat, and capped. Why Summer found it intriguing was hard to say. He was not someone who would like to drink. In fact, far from it. It was neatly placed on a stone ledge. Not broken seal, no dust. The glass glowed faintly in the streetlight, as if lit from within. At first, Summer assumed someone had forgotten it. He shook his head and paid for his tea and walked back home at the bend of the street. The next day, he found it again, right at the same spot. It had not moved an inch. Summer went near it. The seal was still intact, the liquid still inside, gleaming. The bottle had still not gathered a speck of dust. Summer's eyes circumnavigated. Was someone playing a trick? Had someone forgotten it? But everyone seemed to walk at their own pace, undeterred and oblivious to the placement of the bottle itself. Summer moved his hand towards the bottle and then decided against it. He looked for it in the morning. The bottle was no longer there in sight. Whoever owned it must have taken it, Summer thought to himself. It was there again in the evening, and then the next. Still untouched, perfectly aligned. The bottle would disappear in the morning and reappear by evening. It became a routine. Summer could not get the bottle out of his mind. Even while working, he would sometimes wonder if he would find it near the ledge or not in the evening. Summer started to leave the office early to see if he would find it. "Summer Babu is an ishq," Mr. Chatterjee gloated while talking to other members of the office during lunchtime. Summer did not reply. his intrigue for the bottle increased a bit every day. It was true, Summer's routine had changed. He began leaving from work earlier so he could loiter inconspicuously at the tea stall across the lane, just to catch a glimpse of whoever left the bottle. No one came. Weeks passed, and the green bottle became a part of the scenery, yet somehow out of place, like a wrong note in a symphony. 2 months passed, and driven by a whisper of obsession, Summer stopped near the bottle. He leaned closer. The label was blank, except for a barely visible imprint, "For the Forgotten." He felt a shiver but did nothing. He walked on. One evening, just like it had appeared, the bottle was gone. The absence made Summer restless. He went to the tea stall owner to inquire. "Did you see the green bottle?" he asked the owner, who was busy pouring hot tea for the customers waiting to be served. Summer's eyes were restless and unsettled. The owner nodded placidly. He had noticed no such thing. "It was there, every day, right there. Didn't you see it?" The owner looked blankly at Summer, as if he had been talking about a UFO. Summer was impatient that night. He could barely sleep. The next day, he walked rather sluggishly to office. It was a strange feeling. It was as if he had lost a friend, or a beloved perhaps. "You forgot to shave today?" Mr. Chatterjee commented. "You know, Bade Babu is very particular about how one looks in the office." "I know," Summer replied, placing a hand on his 1-day-old stubble. As he walked back from office that day, his eyes caught the glint again. It had returned, at the same place. He heaved a sigh and sat across the street to have tea. He wanted to sit and just watch the bottle. Summer returned after midnight, a thermos of black coffee in one hand and a worn notebook in the other. He sat on the cold steps near the ledge and waited. He wanted to see what events conspired during the night. The city's sounds faded. The street light flickered. Summer was alert. Coffee had made his sleep disappear. At exactly 2:03 a.m., a breeze stirred, and then he saw it. A figure emerged, or perhaps formed. Summer wasn't too sure. Tall, robed and faceless, it glided to the ledge, took the bottle gently and lingered. Summer stepped forward. Who are you?" he asked, his voice trembling as he spoke. The figure turned its head, or what should have been a head. A voice, soft and echoing from within, answered, "I collect what the city forgets." "The bottle? Oh, what's in it?" The figure tilted forward. Summer's throat felt parched. "Memories no one claims. Regrets, old loves, vanished names." The figure moved towards Summer. Somehow, Summer stood rooted to the spot, unable to move. "You may taste it, but only once." Summer hesitated, but the intrigue had pulled him in. He took the bottle from the figure's hand. It was warm. He twisted the seal to open the lid. A waft of familiar scent emanated from it. Something comforting. Scent of his mother's cardamom-laced hands and something sweet, perhaps jaggery. He could not resist any longer. He took a sip. The effect was almost sudden. Visions flooded his mind. A girl's anklet jingling in a darkened theatre. A father waiting with a mango ice cream on a rainy afternoon. The scent of a mustard oil and monsoon mud. Moments he had forgotten. Or maybe someone else's? Summer's throat closed. That wasn't his father. But he felt the ache of waiting, the sweetness of anticipation, the sting of rain that never came. Faces flashed, names half formed, streets he had never walked but somehow knew. He clutched the ledge to steady himself. What was this? Memories? But not his own. He saw a child counting stars and felt a loss so deep it winded him. Then a laugh, a light musical one. His mother's perhaps? No, someone else's. Summer staggered back. He was sweating. His heart pounded like a fist against his ribs. What had he done? And yet, beneath the panic, a strange calm began to take root. A connection. He had felt more in that single moment than in 5 years of empty walks and silent benches. He sank to the pavement, not noticing the bottle slip quietly from his hand. The chirping of the birds in the morning broke his trance. The street was empty. The bottle was gone. He returned home, shaking. This was extraordinary, he thought. The next day, he told his colleague, then his cousin, even the chaiwala. They all laughed. You should stop reading ghost stories, Babu, they said. For weeks after his encounter, Summer avoided old printing press. He took detours home, winding through the crowded bazaars and noisy intersections that made him feel safely anonymous. Yet the memory of that night burned in him like a fever. His dreams were filled with scattered fragments. These memories were not his own, but of those he had tasted from that bottle. A woman combing her silver hair before a cracked mirror. An old man feeding pigeons at dawn. The weight of these borrowed memories left Summer distracted at work. Files piled up on his desk, his supervisor noticed. You seem troubled, Roy Babu, Bade Babu said one afternoon. Is everything all right at home? Summer nodded, not meeting his high and not longing to be ridiculed further for his visions. That evening, drawn by an invisible thread, Summer found himself back at the corner. The green bottle sat on the ledge, luminous against the gathering darkness. He approached it cautiously, as one might a wild animal. A new detail caught his eye. Etched into the glass was a thin, spiraling line that hadn't been there before. He traced it with his finger and felt a jolt, like static electricity. You shouldn't touch what isn't yours. Summer spun around. An old woman stood behind him, her face a web of wrinkles, eyes cloudy with cataract. She wore a faded cotton sari and carried a wicker basket filled with marigolds. You've seen it too? Summer asked, his heart hammering. The figure who brings the bottle? The woman smiled, revealing beetle-stained teeth. There are collectors in every city, Babu. They gather what falls through the cracks. Joy, sorrow, things people discard without knowing their value. But why here? Why this corner? Places hold memories too. She gestured towards the abandoned printing press. This building once told stories. Now it holds them instead. Summer stared at the bottle. I drank from him. The old woman's smile faded. Then you've taken on a burden. Those memories will find a home in you. What does that mean? It means you've become a vessel yourself. She adjusted her basket. Some will seek you out now. The ones who have lost something precious. As if on cue, a young boy approached. No older than 10, wearing a school uniform several sizes too large. Uncle, he asked to Summer, have you seen my kite? It was green and yellow and with a red tail. I lost it. Before Summer could answer, he felt a strange sensation, a memory surfacing that wasn't his own. A kite caught in the branches of a banyan tree, rain soaking through paper, colors bleeding into one another. It's in the old banyan near St. Xavier's College, Summer heard himself say. The one with the swing. The boy's eyes widened. He nodded once, then ran off into the gathering darkness. The old woman watched him go. You see, it begins. What begins? Summer asked, but she was already scuffling away, her basket of marigolds glowing like small suns in the dusk. That night, 3 more strangers approached him. An elderly man looking for a lost wedding photograph, a college student searching for a poem he had written and misplaced, a widow wanting to remember her husband's voice. Each time, Summer found himself speaking words he hadn't known he possessed, describing details of lives he had never lived. By morning, he was exhausted, but strangely calm. He realized with sudden clarity that he had become part of something ancient and unbroken, a living archive of the city's forgotten treasures. When he returned to work, he requested a transfer from records to the public information desk. Mr. Chatterjee and Bade Babu raised an eyebrow, but approved the change. Now, Summer spends his days guiding people to what they seek. Official documents, yes, but also answers to questions they haven't fully formed. And each evening he walks past the old printing press, acknowledging the green bottle with a slight nod. Sometimes, on rare nights, when the moon is new and the city sleeps deeply, he meets the faceless collector, and they exchange silent greetings, like old friends. No one believes the story. No one ever will. But in Bhawanipur, if you lost something precious, perhaps a memory, a dream, or a name, the locals might direct you to a quiet man at the municipal office. Speak to Summer Roy, they'll say. He knows where forgotten things go. And if you visit the old printing press after midnight, you just might find a glimpse of the green bottle glowing on a stone ledge, waiting for someone brave enough to remember what others have forgotten. Just a caution, don't drink from it. With that, we come to an end to this episode. Let me know how you like this story. Share your thoughts with me on social media or write to me at madhulikarachauhan@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your stories too. Don't forget to subscribe to Fusion Fiction on YouTube and Spotify. Have fun until we meet again. This is Madhulika Ra Chauhan and you are listening to Fusion Fiction.